identify exactly when we have a partner who is one of our loved ones and is struggling with some sort of addiction. What is it that we can do that can empower them to overcome it rather than enable that same pattern to continue to keep happening over and over and over, bringing more and more destruction into the relationship? So, Reverend Ron Blair, thank you so much for coming onto the show today. And can you just share with me a little bit first what you're up to these days?
Well, I find myself today doing a lot of work in Lancaster and Santa Clarita, living in LA, so I'm on the train a lot. Um, but it appears that both of these centers are seeking to evolve and to strengthen and grow their churches. So somehow I've been asked to be a part of it, and that's where I find myself. And today I don't take too much thought about where I'm asked to be, but I just make myself available and be there.
Okay, beautiful. And I know that you're doing a book club, right? And what is the book that you're reading right now
Well,
in your
the
club?
current book that we have now is Emmett Fox, Sermon on the Mount.
Oh,
Yeah, which is a very powerful book if you really want to have a insight thought about where was Jesus coming from when he said the Sermon on the Mount.
okay.
But he breaks it down a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
that's neat. Awesome. And you do that at the Santa
Santa
Clarita
Clarita
Center for Spiritual
Spiritual Living,
Living.
yes.
And when are you doing that book club?
That happens every second and fourth Sunday. I also do
What time?
a court. That's probably at 12:30.
12:30?
Yeah, 12:30 for the book club.
Probably at 12:30?
No, 12. Yeah, depending on what else is going on that day. And then also we do a Course in Miracle group on Tuesdays
Okay.
from 2 to 4.
Okay, so these are really great groups to just come and get some support, some insight to reflect on stuff that's going on in your own life, in our own lives.
Yes, along with the book that we're reading. Where does what we're reading fit in to what's going on in your experience?
Yes.
And can we identify and let's share and let's maybe make ourselves available to a different way of seeing things.
Yeah.
Can we see things differently?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is the name of the game, right?
That's the name of
Yes,
the game.
it's always about that, as we were just currently saying. So let's go ahead and dive into addiction. So some of the addictions that people come to me and they have some struggles in their relationship with come in the form of either drugs and alcohol, which is the one that we're used to, but also sex, porn, women, lashing out and criticism, so when a partner is triggered and then there's this lashing out or this criticism that always happens, or self-sabotage, some sort of self-harm or something like that. So these are the ones that I'm familiar with, that I tend to work with in some of the couples that come to see me. So I want to bring that to light because it's so interesting to see how sometimes the partner of this one that might be struggling with this pattern does not know what to do. They want to support them. They love them deeply. They want to protect them. They want to empower them. They want to insulate them. But the way that they've been doing it somehow reveals that they haven't been successful because the pattern keeps happening. So, can you share with us a little bit of your story and where your background is coming from? I know that you also yourself struggled with some addictions.
I did. I had a 23-year drug addiction from drugs and alcohol. And what I come to realize after 20 years of sobriety, over 20 years, was that it was really a act of escapism. I was escaping from my belief system, which did not bring me peace. So it wasn't really about the house that I was blaming, that I was living in, the family that I was living in, the people that were around me. It wasn't about them, but at that particular time, I was probably blaming them, which then beefed up the need to escape.
Okay.
So at that particular time, marijuana was my first substance to escape with. And then it became alcohol, and then harder drugs.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
but the whole act was all about escaping. So now that I realize that there wasn't really anything to escape from, there's a more peaceful feeling about the experience, which then doesn't bring up guilt or shame.
Guilt and shame. So let's talk about that. What role do those have to do in keeping that addict in that negative pattern?
Well, anytime that I am experiencing any sense of separation, that is feeling not a part of, then I'm going to look for something to fill that void. And so a lot of times guilt comes from feeling or perceiving that I've hurt someone. You see. But in truth, no one can truly be hurt from anyone outside of them. They have to allow that to happen. So what is taking place in both parties is that each have something to work on,
Yep.
you see. And so from that perspective, there's never any mistakes what's going on in the moment. It may look like addiction, yet if the spirit that knows both parties knows exactly what needs to happen in order for them to fulfill their purpose. Now, I realize that my addiction has brought me a whole lot of information that is valuable today with being, a minister and working with other people.
Right. And I mean, even the wisdom that you can bring to this conversation
Absolutely.
from
So-
being there firsthand.
Yes.
You said something, though, that I want to hit on before we go into the shame.
Okay.
But you said that the person that perceives that they're hurting someone, right? And so when they perceive that they're hurting someone, they are feeling guilty, and that perpetuates more of that same negative pattern.
Absolutely.
So you also highlighted how the other partner is allowing that person to hurt them or show them that, make them feel even that they are hurting them.
Absolutely.
Right. So instead of, so what could they do instead?
Well, then the work becomes with themselves. Once they kind of know the truth that no person, place, or thing can really truly hurt them without them allowing it, then they get to go do their own inner work. You see, where am I attached to this that allows me to allow myself to be hurt? What attachment do I have?
Right. So they're allowing that to sort of penetrate, whereas these words, these actions really have only to do with that other person.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Absolutely. See, working the Course in Miracles, it reminds me that there's only two things going on: love and a cry for it.
Yes.
You
I
see?
love that.
See, so the addicted is crying out for love. Now the partners, the families, they need to stand in the place that they are this love that the addicted is crying out for, and then that's all that they can give is love. But if they see something wrong, if they see a problem, then they start reacting with information that's not going to be enough.
And then that reaction will feel
Escalate,
like
right.
guilt. It will feel like shame, and to the addicted person.
It
And-
brings that guilt and shame up even more.
And
because-
that's what they're escaping from in the first
Absolutely.
place. So it just
Absolutely.
adds more to it.
Absolutely. You see? So therefore, the loved ones are really given an opportunity to stand in love.
And how could they best stand in love? What does that look like?
Well, love is, again, a quality I say is of the Creator that can only be experienced. And so therefore, the soul really just have to make themselves available to love without trying to think how to do love. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
But also, while that's true, I think it's important to also highlight some, like what it actually looks like too. What does that look like? You're saying it's a sense of being, but I could touch into one of the things it looks like is that the partner cannot take anything personally
That's
that
true.
the addict is doing, right? Because if you take it personally, then you react and you say, oh, well, now you're attacking me, or, oh, well, now I need to shame you, or, oh, I need to criticize you, or, oh, I need to, whatever that is, rather than just holding space and maybe saying, I see you, I love you. What else could they say?
Well, they can just make themselves available. How can I love you more? You see, in that situation. How can I love you more instead of reacting? You see, not even knowing the how. See, I'm coming from this place now. The how is not my business. See, what's my business is a willingness to love. And then that knows the how, which is the greater, then gets to use me. Then I get to become a witness to the love necessary for this moment.
One of the things that I find that is a struggle for this is that I do feel like most people are saying, okay, I want to love you. And then what they end up doing is actually enabling that behavior in some way.
Yes, see, I have to now listen to what I'm saying. I want to love you. To want implies I don't have, you see. So that means that I'm going to be coming from an intellect, what I think love is, which probably is not going to be enough. So the willingness to love you then becomes something the person that is doing the loving becomes a witness to as well. Because now they're creating a space for them to experience something that they maybe never have. And the only reason it came about is because of the addicted person. So if everything is in a divine order, there's no mistakes. See, every person involved has an opportunity now.
Yes. And everything is a reflection. So if you have a partner that has an addiction, it reveals that there's something inside of you that you're also doing that sort of is part of this game.
That's a possibility.
You said something earlier that you want to go ahead and say it about how everyone is involved.
Yes, how when one person in the family has a problem, everyone in the family has a problem.
Yes.
You see. So therefore, instead of looking at the one that seemingly has the addiction with the problem, let me maybe turn within my own self and ask, do I have any problems with this situation?
Yeah, what am I doing to perpetuate, enable? Why am I the opposite match that is experiencing this?
Absolutely.
The way that I teach love and relationships usually is that we're like magnets. So we attract each other wherever we're operating from. We attract a like partner. And then as we start to grow and elevate, one person will grow and then the other person will say, oh, well, yeah, I want to grow too. And then we end up, growing together. Or one will say, oh, that's too much growth. I want to stay down here, and they'll drop out. So it's like, if we were to realize that this person in front of us that might have some addiction or problem or negative pattern, and take ownership for, wow, this is in my experience for a reason. And I also have an opportunity to grow from something here. And this is not just their problem or their issue, and let me not just blame, but also take ownership and responsibility for where inside of me that I am part of this same problem. Yes. I'm a piece of it.
And that's perfect, because now I'm giving the other person, the addicted person, permission now to go do their work. You see, I'm going to go do mine.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to go do mine, so I'm at peace with what's going on here.
And that's the goal.
That's the goal, just to be at peace. See, we don't know what's happening, so therefore we can't get in the way with our not enough information, our intellect, to try to stop something. We don't know. See, if I tried to stop what was going on in my experience, I might not have, gained the information to be where I am today. Everything is in that divine order, and that's what I must trust. And then make myself available to, how can I be of service? How can I love my loved one more through this process?
So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Okay. And then on the other side of this break, what we'll do is really dive into what the ins and outs, some of the details of how we can make sure that, number one, we're not doing things that are making it worse, and instead we're doing specific things that will actually make it better, that we can be of assistance. Okay. This is Jessica Hartley. You're listening to Thriving Relationships, and we'll be right back.
Lots of people can build websites, but there's one Santa Clarita company that specializes in designing websites for your business. Small Dog Creative. The Small Dog Creative team is made up of local designers who are hands-on. Their talented team of experts build premium websites and redefine branding. Small Dog Creative doesn't just build websites. They'll upgrade your business's online presence and turn your business into a powerful online brand. Small Dog Creative, Santa Clarita's most innovative web and design company. SmallDogCreative.com.
The Oasis treatment at the Ivy Day Spa begins with a gentle exfoliation, then rinsed away in warm showers. You're painted with a soothing aloe vera, shea butter, and coconut oil body mask. Then travel through the warm Hydro Cape chambers. The relaxation chamber completes your Oasis body moisturizing treatment with a pH balancing mist and a warm cup of tea. Feel refreshed, hydrated, and relaxed. Pamper yourself. The Ivy Day Spa, Town Center Drive.
When you feel like you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on, because a quality relationship will bring the most meaning to your life. No matter how hard it feels right now, this is your opportunity to grow every part of who you are and bring the best of what you've got to the table. No one wants to spend their life alone. Make this one count. It takes effort and dedication, but you're capable. Visit jessicahartley.com/program.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Can you believe it? 2 nights ago, my owner was going to dump me at the end of the street. But I set him straight. I said, hey, listen, do the right thing. Santa Clarita's waste haulers offer free large item pickup or drop-off. You can drop me and other bulky items off at their local facility for free, or call your hauler for a free pickup. So he clicked on greensantaclarita.com and followed the instructions. It was easy. Don't dump. It's better for your neighborhood and keeps me off the streets.
She's one of country music's most beloved artists, and she's coming to Santa Clarita. It's Academy of Country Music Award winner, Sarah Evans. At the Canyon Club in Santa Clarita on June 4th. She's sold millions of records, has been at the top of the country charts 5 times, and has just released her 8th studio album, Words. It's Sarah Evans. And featuring our own Savannah Burrows. Sarah Evans with special guest Savannah Burrows, June 4th at the Canyon Club in the Valencia Town Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com. It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies, pets, and even adults. Eco Green Clean SCV can put your worries at ease. Eco Green Clean SCV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. Eco Green Cleaners uses essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco Cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. Locally owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago.
For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
It's no secret that heavy-duty cleaning chemicals can be toxic for babies, pets, and even adults. Eco Green Clean SCV can put your worries at ease. Eco Green Clean SCV only uses organic, environmentally friendly products, reducing the risk of health issues for any age. Eco Green Cleaners uses essential oils that lend to aromatherapeutic benefits. Eco Cleaners are reliable, thorough, and all cleanings are guaranteed. Locally owned and operated by a single mom who started this organic business 5 years ago.
For more information or to book a cleaning, call 993-9136.
Your hometown station.
As soon as I leave my house in Saugus, I always turn on KHTS for the latest traffic updates.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Jessica Hartley, and I am here with my guest, Reverend Ron Blair, and we're talking about relationship addictions, enabling versus empowering our partners. And you had an amazing quote that you said earlier: whenever one person has a problem, everyone has a problem.
Absolutely. One
of the things that I want to sort of address is when we notice a partner has a negative issue, a negative pattern, and it keeps coming up over and over again, how do you confront them in a way where they can take ownership for that problem? Or is that something that you would just sort of step back and let them handle on their own?
Well, it's kind of hard to say in the moment, without it really happening. However, one really checks themselves. When another person is having an energy, it's like the other person just needs to see how they're receiving this energy. And when they're receiving the energy seemingly in a negative vibration, they just want to, be and settle themselves down. And then that gives the other person permission to settle down. If we are reacting, then it just escalates. The key is not to react. The key is to truly go within with what they are feeling, their interpretations of their feelings.
So you're talking about the partner should go into that
space when they feel that they're picking up some energy from their other partner.
Okay.
You see, when they're feeling that, it's like they cannot assume they know what's going on, because then that becomes a bigger block. They just have to then make themselves available to be a safe place for their loved one, to be able to come to and share with them what's going on.
So if the addict doesn't take ownership and doesn't think that anything is wrong, then nothing would happen?
No, that's not true. If it's not in harmony, with the intention of the family, that's going to reveal itself.
It will reveal itself.
It will reveal itself. And then once it reveals itself, then everyone involved have to take responsibility, ownership. And if not, then we begin to see where the bigger issue is. You see. Mm-hmm. And then you begin asking, the person, what's really going on? Mm-hmm. You see. And they may not in that moment be ready to say. You see. But then one that is on the other side of that really have to begin seeing that they need to strengthen themselves. They need to begin protecting themselves, you see, for what they feel that may come up from what they're perceiving as happening.
And what do you mean by that?
What I mean, if I see a person that is in addictions, well, what comes with addiction sometimes is stealing, so therefore some of the valuable things have to be put away. It may be locked away, You see, when I start seeing that happening, I have to begin noticing what are being used the most, what seems to be happening in an unusual way. These things I have to become more aware of. And then that information will begin, conveying what my next step will be. You see.
So sort of preparing to support that partner to not have the environment that would make the situation worse.
Worse, you see. A lot of times in my reaction to a person, with addictions, is to scream at them, blame, and shout, and really create a vibration that is not conducive to what we're asking for. You see, so therefore I have to go and be with myself and find out what would keep me from being loving to this person. You see, I have to know that about myself first. You see, because that's all that person is crying out for.
Yeah,
is love. You see, now if I can't be loving to them, and that doesn't mean giving them, that doesn't mean enabling them. That means sometimes being standing strong in what I believe to be true. To be able to say no, if that's what the situation calls for. You see, a lot of people in families and addictions, they give in to the addicted, thinking that that's what's going to make it easier, and that's not true. You see, the hardest things when one find themselves in that type of situation is to say no. To say no. You can't say no. They want to give them everything that they think that they need, and that could be the worst thing.
Right. So enabling, as I understand it, is when a family member sort of replaces the natural consequence that would happen when an addict or someone who's addicted to a negative pattern would feel that uncomfortable consequence of their actions. So when they're sort of taking away or buffering that too much, or doing things for them that the addict can do for themselves, all of those things would be enabling. And so, but you're also saying one of the things that we could do is sort of create an environment where they're not able to reach for the alcohol or reach for that thing to steal or go to the porn or whatever it is, depending on what their addiction is.
Absolutely. You see, and that sometimes means that I have to do without what I'm used to. You see, I might have to break my patterns. You see.
And what if that partner or that person who's struggling with that negative pattern does not feel like that they're addicted, that it's a problem for them?
Well, that's something that it has to kind of wean itself out. They have to find out for themselves. You can't make them see. You have to see the things that you might be doing that is enabling this behavior, and then take back, your part.
Yeah, so that's where you're just focusing on taking ownership for your part in it.
That's all you can take. See, you can only take ownership and responsibilities for the experience, for the feelings that you're experiencing. You see, we don't know what they're going through. A lot of the times they're keeping it secret, what they're going through. And until they find it safe enough to really share what they're going through, that becomes the door.
Right, yeah. And if there's criticism or shame or guilt
or blame,
they're not going to feel safe.
No.
Yeah, or open to anything that the partner has to say, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. If they're blaming the other person for the way they feel, that person's going to stay addicted.
Right, and you also mentioned that if the partner, if the one that's struggling feels like they're with their pattern, their negative pattern, that they're hurting their loved one, That it actually makes their addiction worse.
Yes, because see, they don't know how to stop their addiction, and they really feel powerless in that moment because they don't want to hurt their loved one. But they realize their powerlessness feeling that they're having through this addiction feels like they have no hope now. So they don't know where to go.
Then they just get more depressed.
Yeah. Which then escalates
the addiction and the escape, the want for the escape.
You see.
So essentially all of our addictions are an attempt to escape.
Escape some belief that we're having that doesn't allow us to be at peace.
And so if we understand that, we could help by just focusing on even that.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we want to help, right? If we want to empower them, to give them a better idea of some new belief system.
Right.
You know, and to reinforce that.
And that's the importance and the value of creating that safe place without telling them. They don't want to hear a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
See,
why is that?
They have enough going on in their own heads. You see.
But there's sometimes a rebellion against hearing things. Why is that?
Well, sometimes the rebellion is because they don't know how to deal with what they're going through, and now they're being asked to practice something somebody else thinks.
Right, and it's almost like this other person thinks that they know what I'm going through,
right.
And so they want to just tell me how I'm wrong without actually understanding what I'm going through.
And give me the solution of getting out of what I'm going through.
Right, and so that in itself is another assault.
Absolutely.
You know, so without fully first helping that person who might be addicted feel understood, feel seen and accepted in that safe place, you're not going to get anywhere beyond that.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like anything that you tell them will only make it worse.
Make it worse. See, that's the reason. It's really the inner work with the individual that is experiencing the addiction. They may not be the addicted, but the addiction is taking place within the family. So everyone has that issue now, you see, and they must now find out what part am I playing that brings this about in my experience.
Yes, and that's one of those ways.
Yes.
That we can take ownership for that. So taking ownership for residing within my own peace no matter what's happening outside, and not allowing this this negative problem to affect me negatively so that I am reacting negatively, right? So that continue to stay in my peace despite that.
Absolutely. That's
part one. Another part, step two would be something like being able to help that person feel loved, seen, accepted, understood, so that they can feel safe to take ownership for what is going on here.
Absolutely. And that's the practice of non-judgment.
Yeah, which can be hard, right? And in order to do that stuff, we have to be able to let go of whatever we're triggered by.
Absolutely.
Right? Because when our partner is doing something and then that triggers us, then we are no longer, now we're just like joining them in the game, actually.
Absolutely. Until I realized that what they're really doing is giving me an opportunity to take a look at some activated buttons I still hold on to.
That's right.
That needs to be deactivated. You see, now when I see it from that perspective, thank you.
Absolutely.
See, thank you. Now I get to go deactivate these buttons so that I could be a place of love of which I have created to be.
Yeah, so now I can do my own inner work. I can release these wounds. Thank you for showing me that I still have a wound here that I need to handle.
Absolutely.
That I still have something that I need to transform and to uplift and transmute.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, and that's when each person involved take responsibility. You see, then we begin to see how everything is in a divine order. You see, there's no mistakes. Life is eternal. So therefore, I don't have to be in the fear of death. I don't have to be in the fear of loss. See, I could be in this opportunity to expand and evolve in ways I've never have. You see, and in ways that one would not have had if they had not had this experience.
And, we've been talking a little bit about the perspective of, the partner who's seeing their partner with some negative problem or addiction. But let's turn it around a little bit and now put ourselves in the shoes of someone who might know that they have an addiction, but they are feeling like their partner just will never see them, will never accept them, that their partner is always triggering them to want to escape, that their partner is never holding that space for them, never filling the holes for them that they need to be filled. What can we give to empower them to take their own next steps, rather than waiting for their partner to show up in love first?
Well, it's all about doing the self-help work. So whatever I need to do to really right my mind, to really see what I'm thinking, where I'm thinking from, and begin making the changes there. And a lot of that is so much of, who am I saying that I am? That's the start. See, once I realize who I am, then I realize what source and power I have within me. You see, but if I don't know who I am, I could feel powerless, and if I feel powerless, there is nothing I can do.
Yeah. So we've got to start with changing that belief system.
We have to change the belief system. I have to begin taking a deeper look at, of what I believe in. And then once I realize that I have everything that I need, it's about going forward, making myself available to the next step. No one may know what that next step may be, but we have to make ourselves available to it in a trust that something's happening not only for my good, but for the good of the ones I love also.
Right. Everyone's affected.
Everyone's affected.
One of the other things that I am aware of too is that a lot of times we can say, we even if you're the person who is struggling with a negative pattern, you can say, well, my partner is the one with the problem. My partner is the one who is not showing up in the way that I want them to, and therefore I cannot operate from the place I want to. And so we end up being in this codependent kind of relationship, or this, I can't do my part unless they're doing their part kind of belief system. And that in itself is what is the problem. See, because
absolutely.
One of the things that we have to take ownership for is that I am whole and complete as I am, and everything that I need comes from within me. And if that means that I need validation, if it means I need support, if it means I need empathy, if it means I need encouragement, and I'm looking to that from my partner to give to me in order so I can stop needing to escape, that is my problem.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. I need to start doing that stuff for myself.
Absolutely.
And stop needing someone else to fill the holes.
That's right.
But actually take ownership.
That's the reason it doesn't serve me to go into any relationship thinking someone else is going to complete me. You see, if I'm looking outside of myself, you see, for wholeness, then I'm going to create, an experience that is not going to be good for no one.
Yeah, and you know what the truth is that most everyone in the world goes into relationship with that mentality because they grew up with the experiences that they had, and so they have these wounds or these holes, and then they're looking for someone to help them heal them, but they go in thinking that this person will fill those gaps for me, and then I'll be happy. But the truth is that relationship is this incredible and sacred vessel which will help us to realize where our own holes are and give us the opportunity to heal them, to take ownership for them, and to fix them ourselves.
Correct.
Rather than being so, because the thing is that we'll find constant conflict when we keep needing the other person to fill our holes.
Absolutely.
And change first, and to, whatever, we keep blaming them.
Yes. We have to accept that on the plane of life that we live on, there's two polarities, and they're opposite ends, you see. And so therefore, they're necessary, though, for balance, you see. So once I let go of judgment and then make myself available for understanding and acceptance, then I can see the reason for everything that is going on. Everything is giving me an opportunity to love unconditionally. I get to check, how am I doing? You see? And the things that I have judgment on, there's a lot of judgment put on people with addictions, you see. But see, the first thing I have to accept is that if I'm still judging, I'm judging myself. And if I'm judging myself, I am not making myself available for any solution.
That's good.
You see. See, and if there's a solution that is seeking to emerge through this, then everyone has to come to the realization they don't know what's going to be necessary for how this is going
for
to
the healing.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
the empowerment.
For the healing, absolutely. But we can truly make ourselves available.
Self-reflection.
Just by really, letting go. Let me let go.
Let go of that judgment.
Let me let go of the judgment. Let me let go of my belief. I don't know what's going on here. But if it's happening, I have to trust that I trust in knows that this is for my good somehow. See, now let me make myself available to that good.
And take ownership for where I can stay, remain unconditionally loving.
Absolutely.
And grow. Yes.
See, well, I see this is as an opportunity for evolution.
Beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and take our second break. We'll be right back. This Thriving Relationships and Jessica Hartley and Reverend Ron Blair.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
Questions about your water bill? SCV Water is available to answer your questions and help you understand your water bill. They can provide the tips and tools you need to use water more efficiently. Visit yourscvwater.com to manage your account and to pay your bill. Their customer service representatives look forward to helping you. That's yourscvwater.com.
Do you like to rock across Africa?
Then the wait is over.
Africa Rocks! Africa's Greatest Hits is now available at the San Diego Zoo. And who could forget 99 red baboons?
Or the African crested porcupine smash hit, I Got Quills to Pay the Bills. Hey, don't get too close.
And the hits keep on coming.
Africa Rocks has all your favorites from 6 different African habitats.
Hungry like a leopard.
Ibex is back.
Harder, better, Fossa stronger.
And a new track from Kendrick Lamar.
Now, Larry.
Yes, Chuck?
A collection of this magnitude, I'd fly to Africa.
Well, don't pack your bags, friend. Africa Rocks is only available right here at the San Diego Zoo.
Wow, that really does rock.
No, it Africa Rocks.
Welcome to Africa Rocks. Experience 6 different African habitats, including our first ever aquatic enclosure with African penguins. Only at the San Diego Zoo.
Pure Birth's Pregnancy and Wellness is Santa Clarita's newest birth center, offering holistic prenatal care, water births, labor and delivery, and postpartum care. Owned and operated by California Medical Board licensed midwife Tiffany Gallo, who has been serving expected families in the SCV for over a decade. Pure Births is also a Medi-Cal birth center. If you want to experience a natural birth with the freedom to birth your way in a safe and professional environment, contact Pure Births on Tournament Road near McBean, purebirths.com.
Here's the cold, hard truth couples need to hear. Spending months or years trying to get your spouse to do their part is a complete waste of time. Our clients go from the brink of divorce to the deepest connection and the most fun and passion that they've ever felt, without years of counseling, nagging, or even ultimatums. We focus on what works to unlock the deepest levels of trust, communication, contribution, and passion. Learn how at jessicahartley.com/program. Lasting love does exist. You just get to create it.
Reverend Ron Blair here, and we've been discussing relationship addictions. And we're just going to give you some closing pointers now. So one that stuck out to me is that when everyone has a problem, or when one person has a problem, everyone has a problem. What's another one for you?
Well, one for me is that when I'm seeking to set myself free, it truly allows others to be free. And when I'm not allowing that for myself, I'm really seeing the bondage I'm putting others in.
So, and the other thing that I want to highlight is that there's always a place where you have to take some ownership for this issue of addiction or this negative pattern that you see in your relationship. It's not just their problem. We have to stop making them the problem and not taking ownership for where I have a part in this. And if I want to create change, I must start by taking ownership for where I need to reside in my peace and my offering of love to my partner despite what they're doing, as well as being able to create a safe space for them to feel seen, heard, and understood.
Absolutely. And giving them the opportunity to truly know that what's going on with them is their opportunity to grow, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. And so, and that works both ways. I can't blame the other for, upsetting me when I realize that the upset that I'm experiencing is my allowance.
Mm-hmm.
See, so I get to do my own inner work, and everyone that's having this type of situation has a deeper inner work of freedom of them for themselves to do. Anytime you're looking outside of yourself to complete yourself, you're going to find reasons and issues to escape or find a reason to leave.
Yes, yeah, and then you'll convince yourself of it and make it worse and worse.
Absolutely.
Okay, so last thing that I want to say too is never ever, don't confront them unless they first feel heard, seen, and understood. Secondly is when you confront them, it should never be with criticism, shame, blame, or guilt.
Absolutely.
And what's your closing thought?
To know that whatever's taking place is taking place for your good, and it's giving you an opportunity to be more than you ever thought yourself to be, and which then creates a greater experience for the both.
Mm-hmm. And you also said earlier, see no problems.
See no problem, because the moment I see a problem, and then I go into an experience of information that is not enough. To see no problem gives one the opportunity to step into opportunities.
Of growth.
Mm-hmm. And expansion and evolution. That's all that's taking place.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you.
So if you want to find Reverend Ron Blair, he's at the Santa Clarita Center for Spiritual Learning. Did I say that right?
Spiritual Living.
For Spiritual Living. Mm-hmm. And he does book clubs, and he'll be there this Sunday teaching a message about freedom.
Absolutely. It's going to be about the lilies of the field are free. Am I being as free as the lilies of the field?
Beautiful. And if you want to reach out to me, if you've got some struggle in your relationship and you would like to get some clarity or start working on the road to healing that and thriving, you can find me at jessicahartley.com, or you can reach out to me via text at 661-347-8473. We'll see you next week. Thriving Relationships, Jessica Hartley and Ron Blair.